Hey, y'all. Hey, I'm trying to make sure I'm in all the places. Happy Sunday, y'all. It is my prayer. Uh-oh. Wait a minute. Hmm. How do I fix this? I'm trying to stream from Instagram. Can I close this? Oh, wait. I think that's the button. All right. I think I got this together. I struggle every time I do this. I'm on StreamYard attempting to go live from multiple platforms. And so it gets a little confusing sometimes when I try to do it that way because I've got Instagram up over here, Facebook here, and I'm assuming YouTube is going to show up somewhere in the mix. All right, guys, I think I got myself together. Thank you for being patient with me. Okay. So the first thing I want to say is happy Sunday. I pray that your day has been going amazing. I'm in a season of life where I am serious about the Sabbath, okay? And it doesn't necessarily mean doing nothing. It doesn't mean being a slob. But for me, it is a season where I am just slowing down and being extremely intentional about using this day to catch my breath, to avoid being 7 complete days of doing all the things. And I have just found that it has allowed me to start having a much better week. So I'm very serious about the Sabbath. As some of you know, and when you come in, drop where you're watching from. So, as some of you know, Rochelle and I are training for the Marine Corps Marathon. Okay, so typically on Sundays, because I exercise every single day, so I've been accustomed over the last 4 years to moving my body every single day. But now that we're in official Marine Corps training status, okay, they have this thing on the training schedule called a rest day. And so, as I thought about what day would be the best day to be a rest day, it is absolutely Sunday, which is my Sabbath, which is the day I typically slow down. So, today's been going a lot different for me because I have not exercised. And who knew that that would be a challenge? I'm really finding it out of my normal routine to not move my body. Like, I'm really trying to adjust to this. I think my Facebook is frozen. What is happening, y'all? This technology. If you're on Facebook, let me know. Can you hear me? I think Facebook is okay. Hey, Kathy, I see you're on. What I don't know is, am I frozen on Facebook? Because on my end, I think I'm frozen on Facebook. Watch me get way better at this though. You know what the key is, y'all? Quit starting and stopping because your girl be starting and stopping, okay? Shout out to Sam Gibson, who always holds me accountable. Okay, Kathy sees me. Okay, good. Sam always holds me accountable. He be like, "Took, where you been? Okay, and why you haven't been live?" And I feel like, Sam, my apologies, and I hope he catches this because he knows that he holds me uber accountable. All right. So what I was saying before I got caught up with my technology issues was I am serious about the Sabbath and just using today as a day where I'm not doing all the things. So I woke up this morning, my normal routine would be to either hop on my bike or go outside for a run. But as I was saying, it is rest day in our Marine Corps training. So we have completed week 1 of training for the Marine Corps Marathon, week 1 of 18 in the books, and it went great. I have so many reflections. I probably have to go live about that on YouTube later. But getting up this morning and not exercising felt weird. Okay. It was bizarre because my body does it without thinking. And so I was like Googling, like when they say rest day, when it says off day on the schedule, when they say off day, does that really mean off day? And apparently it means off day, y'all. Like, don't do anything. So because I was like, maybe I could do some strength training, and they said no, that's for my cross training days. Then I was thinking maybe I could do some core work. Nope, they said that's cross training. It said that there's so much recovery that's going to happen from taking off today that my next runs next week are going to be better. And so I'm excited to see it, but I would not be telling the truth if I did not say that today not exercising presented itself as a challenge to me. Okay. I was just like, what am I even doing? So Got up this morning, and because I didn't exercise or wash my hair, which are two things I normally do on Sunday before I go to church, didn't do either of those. And hey, Courtney. Oh, thank you. Yes, and I got a word. This is fun. Now I'm talking to some women today, but you're gonna pass this on to the busiest woman you know. And so anyway, didn't wash my hair, did not get on the bike, and I'm struggling, y'all. But it's 3:10. I'm gonna make the best of it. I think I got this thing figured out. Okay, so got up, was on time to church today, which very rarely happens because I'm washing my hair and working out before I get to church. And so they were so shocked to see me. They were like, "How are you even on time?" Okay. So this is what God gave me. It made me think about us as women. And some of you know, I've been hosting live trainings that are geared towards moms or women who are, and this is where God has me in this season, really focusing on women who are busy doing all the things. Now, I know as adults, all of us could easily say that we are busy, right? But I think that as a woman, and this I can speak from this place because it's been me, but as a mother and and as a wife and as a professional, business owner, I'm a friend, I work in the community, I do all these things. And I'm sure this happens with men too, but I just have a particular calling for women right now in this season. So as women, we have all these things that we need to do, right? We got all these roles, all these, what I say, like to say, hats that we wear, right? I can literally feel myself sometimes, like when I'm in work mode, working, and then I realize, oh, my kids really, really need me. Yes, it's so, hey, Tanya Cox, it's so busy. And so I can feel like, oh, my kids need me because I'm like in a work zone and I'm getting all the work things done. And then I can just tell from my children's behavior, you know what? They need me to be a mommy right now. Let me take off this work hat and let me switch gears. Okay, I'm in mommy mode, right? So in all of this, like Tanya's saying, it's so easy for us to find ourselves being super busy. And all of these like roles that we have to, perform in and things that we have to do, it is so easy to give attention and time to all the things and forget about you. Forget to put yourself on the list. Forget to just take care of yourself. And so, what I have learned over these years is that when I take care of me, I am much better at all of those things. But I think that most of us find it difficult to make the time to figure out, okay, how do I do all these other things and then still do something for me? And what I want you to know, what I really want to share with you today is that the problem is if you do not do it, the fruits of that kind of living or that type of decision making is you're going to burn yourself out, you're going to be tired, and you're going to be incredibly exhausted. And I know because I have been there. So if you continue to allow your schedule and your time to be out of control and you're all these things to everybody else, but you don't find a place and space to do things that pour into you, that fill your cup, right? If you don't, you're going to burn out, and all the stuff you're trying to do, you're going to be less productive. All right. Not only that, you think you're showing up for your friends and your family. You're like, no, my kids need me. My husband need me. The truth is your health and your relationships get affected when you don't take the time to take care of you. So when you take care of you, you're going to be a much better wife. You're going to be a much better mom, and you're going to be a much better you. All right. They're going to get a better version of you. So while we're thinking, putting ourselves on the to-do list is taking away from all these other things. I want you to transform your thinking so that you understand that this is a requirement that I can't serve in all these other places well unless I fill my cup. All right. So I was this made me think about a time in my life. So I was like, okay, when have I done this? It's been so many times. But one particular time that stands out for me as I think about times in the past when I've done this is it's been about 11 years. Okay. And it was about 13 years ago. So at that time, my daughter was like 3 years old. And a lot of people don't know this, but I never even really wanted kids. Like when I was in my 20s or 30s, early 30s, like 20s, in my mind, I kind of was like, my sister had kids, I had nieces and nephews. So that felt kind of like mommy in a little bit. And I went through this season in my late 20s where I had started traveling and just enjoy my life. And I was thinking life is great. Like, why would I tie myself down with kids? But then there was also this small part of me that was sort of like, you don't want to get too old and then decide, but life is going well right now. Why would you want kids? But my husband at the time, we were dating at the time, and he was like, this is going to be a deal breaker for me. He was like, he had a son and he's like, I want more kids. So this is probably going to be a deal breaker. And I was just like, hey, let's just continue to have a great time and see how this thing goes. But this is how I feel about it. So anyway, my daughter was like 3 years old, and greatest, decision ever made. I was loving being a mom, and we get this idea that she probably needs a person. We should probably have a person for her. So we start trying to conceive. And in the midst of it, I was teaching. I think I had been in my teaching job for maybe 2 years, and this was when I was like a new teacher. Anybody who's ever been in education or done teaching like those first years where you're really learning how, like your teaching style and how to keep up with all the demands and learning how to structure things, you really work like all day long. So I would get to work at like school. I can't remember. It started like 7 something. I would get to school at like 6:45, 7 o'clock, because I always wanted to have a buffer between getting to work. Like one thing I couldn't stand was getting to work and then kids are there, they're right here in your face. And so I would always get to work like 6:45, 7 something, real early, so that I have time to get myself set up before the kids get here. So I get to work and, I teach all day. And then I got invited to do, to sponsor drill team. So I'm like sponsoring drill team and flag, which, we got practice after school, and I still have my regular teacher duties. I also had a little part-time business on the side. I'm trying to be a wife. I'm trying to be a mom. I'm serving at the church. I'm doing all these things. And so needless to say, my schedule was like super duper busy. But I noticed that I was in this phase where I just started to feel like really run down and burnt out. So in late 2015, we end up conceiving because we're trying to conceive. Okay. We're thinking we want a person. How did we conceive? And we're thinking it's great. So this was probably told. Maybe not everybody knew, but my close friends, I told them, especially I had this one friend, we were both trying to conceive at the same time. I'm talking, we doing all the things. We getting the ovulation situation. We're doing all the things. Okay. So she knew. So I go to school and I tell all my teacher friends I'm expecting and I'm excited. It never occurred to me like I wasn't about to have a baby. Y'all, do you know, as life would have it, your girl ended up miscarrying. And this is why I'm sharing this story. I couldn't see it at that time, but when me and my husband sat down and we kind of talked about it, he was like, babe, you're doing a lot. Like you're gone from 7 in the morning. You leave at 6:45. You get home, it's 7, 8:30 at night. Then you're doing the things with Aubrey. There's no time for you. If I'm being honest about it, my eating was probably terrible at the time because I've always had a terrible sweet tooth. I'm not sleeping. I'm just not, there's no time. And so when I think about all the things he's saying, you need to make more time for you. I'm like, well, when I'm gonna do that? Okay. And so I remember having to make the decision. I went to my principal, who's a great friend of mine now. I went to my principal and I was like, I'm not going to be able to, I don't even remember if I told her why, but that was a pivotal moment for me where I realized that I had to start to restructure my life because there was no wiggle room in it for me. So I ended up letting her know that I would need to step down as the sponsor of the drill and flag team. That was a responsibility that I was not going to be able to keep up, because the truth is, if you've ever been in any, like the band to me practiced harder than the football team. So we still worked in the summertime. So even the summer approaching wouldn't have been anything. We still would have been practicing. And so I had to step down. And so what I learned in that season, and this is why I'm sharing this story with you, because sometimes I can't even blame anybody else. I can't say it was my job's fault or my husband's fault or anybody else's fault. It was me. I can't blame anybody else. I made the choice. I decided to leave me out. All right. And so here's what I learned in that season of my life. I learned you're going to need to get some strategies for setting boundaries, for getting other people to do things. And you're going to have to make some time for you. Like you're going to have to learn how to do this. Okay. And so that's what I want to share with you today, because when you do, this is what I know to be true. You are going to have more energy to do the things that you need to do. You're going to be more productive, and you are going to have better relationships with your friends, your families, your coworkers, your spouse, your children. You're just going to be a better version of yourself to offer to the people who mean the most to you. Okay. And so I'm telling you this because I'm going to give you the steps and the framework that when I think about it, this is how you learn to start putting yourself on the to-do list. This is why I'm here. And so just like my training, where a day off feels like, wait a minute, I'm supposed to say no to that thing? It seems like you're wasting time or you're not being productive. But just like my day off, okay, making time to be off, take care of yourself, to recharge your batteries is going to benefit you in the long run by giving you more energy, help you be more productive, and let you be better for all the people. So here's the first thing that you're going to have to do. You are going to have to. So this is how I look at life. I look at my life, my schedule, my time like a plate. All right. We all only have 100. Hey, Miranda Joyner. We all only have 168 hours in the week. I don't care who we are, how famous we are, how amazing we are. We get 168 hours. Okay. Within that 168 hours, you have to be clear that I am human. I am not God. All right. There are some things that I can do, and there's some things that I cannot do, but I cannot do everything in this 168 hours. So because you're limited and you have the limits of time, you have to say, okay, these are the things that are important to me. These are my priorities. You have to outline what they are. So more than anything, I know this is the typical what people say, but I'm gonna challenge you on it. So most of us would say my relationship with God would probably be way up there. Without him, he's the source of everything. I can't do anything. Okay, great. That's a priority. Next, I would have to say myself, right? Because remember, when I take care of me, I take better care of y'all. Then I'd say my husband, right? Because even though I love my kids, he chose me. I got y'all in the lottery, okay? We chose each other. Okay, so I need to make sure he knows he's important, right? And then these children that I made, because if everybody else in the world thinks I'm awesome and amazing and fun and a good time, and my kids leave the room every time I walk in it, something's off here, okay? So other than that, that's important. Then my business is a priority. I value serving. So I actually value like fellowshipping and physically serving at my church. So that's a priority. That's something that's important to me. I also have friend groups. Some are closer friends, but I also have some casual friend relationships that are important to me. So I have to decide, where do all of these things fit? All right. So the first thing is I got to know what's important to me. So that may mean in this season, there are some things that I'm going to have to say no to. So when I say yes to Rochelle to training for the Marine Corps Marathon, automatically there are some no's that will stream from that. Okay. So I've said this is important to me. Then you have to decide, what are the activities that are your self-care activities that are non-negotiable. So this is where I got to clarify some things, because we think self-care is a spa day. We think that self-care means, once a month I go to my chiropractor or go get a massage. We think self-care is going to get our nails done. No, self-care is the little basic things that you do for you every single day that allow you to show up as your best. So for me, hydration, sleep, exercise, those are like non-negotiable. Okay, those will happen every single day. Well, now every once in a while. Yep, you won the kids in the lottery, right? So self-care is the little things that you do to love on you every single day. It's not waiting for that once a month spa appointment. It's like, y'all, self-care was this morning. I woke up, y'all see this little pop of color on my eyes. That was me, like, girl, you know what? Put some color on your eyes. And what kind of earrings you gonna wear today? That's just me loving on me. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna wash my hair. Like, what are the things? So for you, it may be something different tonight, because it's my day off. I said I'm gonna take me a bubble bath. That's self-care. All right. So it doesn't have to be this major thing that you do once a month. Okay. So I want you to say, these are the things that I will do to care for myself. And nobody can snatch that time from me. Not my husband, not my children, nobody. This is my time. This is how I make myself available to everybody else. Okay. So first step is to identify what's important, what's the priorities, and what are the non-negotiable things, self-care things you're going to do. All right. That's the first step. Now you are going to go communicate. Okay. You're going to go talk to your friends and family. You're going to go tell them. All right. You're going to go in and with love. It ain't going to be no, listen here, y'all, this in this season, it's about me, but you're going to let them know that in this season, when I'm good to me, I can be better to you. So here are a couple of things that must happen every week or every day. And here is what I need from you. A lot of times we think that our friends and our family should just pick up on what we need, and we ain't told the people nothing. That's unfair. You have to go communicate to them what it is that you need, and you have to communicate it in love. So this may be your coworkers, your colleagues. So in that season, when I decided that drill team was coming off my plate, I went to my principal and I had a conversation with her and I let her know. And she could have took it anyway. She took it fine. Okay. She said, I need to find you a replacement. Can you do it long enough for me to find you a replacement? And then when it took her to find too long to find a replacement, I said, I need you to find a replacement sooner. Okay. But I communicated, hey, this is what I'm going to need in this season of my life. And I would like to believe because she cared for me, she obliged, okay? And if she wouldn't have, the boundary, it still would have stood, okay? So we have to be willing to go communicate the boundary in a clear and loving way to our friends, our family, our coworkers, our whoever it needs to be communicated to. Then you have to say, okay, I've got 168 hours. I have all these things on my plate. What are the things on my plate that somebody else can do? Okay. Because there are some things, first of all, some of us, we can probably talk about this tomorrow. Some of y'all got some stuff on your plate that ain't your business. Okay. It's not your stuff. And you need to give it back to its rightful owner because it's not you. And you need to give adults space to be adults and handle some of their own problems because you're not God and you can't be everything to everybody. But I'm going to leave that alone. We might talk about that later this week. Okay. All right. But you need to see, are there any things on my plate that I can get somebody else to do? All right. Because the truth is, we think we Superwoman and we think that everything that needs to be done be done by us. When we do this, y'all, we cheat the people, okay, that are most important to us. Our children are capable of doing some things that we are doing for them. That doesn't mean you don't take care of your children, but there are some things that our children can do for themselves. And if they need to actually do for themselves, so that they can become more independent. So do you have any of those things on their plate? Are you doing their laundry and they might be old enough to sort and at least do the laundry on their own? Even if you got to start the washer and dryer for them, can they sort and do it on their own? Can they fold their own clothes? See, but we won't let them fold it because we want to fold it a particular way and they're not doing it exactly the way we want it to be doing it. So we have to surrender there and say, sometimes they can do it good enough. Okay. It ain't like how I would have done it, but it's good enough. So look at the things that you have on your plate and you say, is there anything here that I can get somebody else to do? All right. Or is there anything here that I could get my family or get people to help me with? Right. I remember just this past year, my daughter has a friend, and it was the most bizarre thing. Her mom and me, we were both in the car rider line at the same time. And one day, and we always are communicating back and forth because our kids are in the same, both of our children are in the same grade. Our daughters are in the same grade and our sons are in the same grade. And so we're in the car on the line talking about, I don't know, something we're coordinating. And literally, I don't know, we're just like, why are we both here? Why is it that we both are in? I mean, because we trust each other. We have times where we have, like, if the girls want to go out for a girls' date with their friends, I've picked her daughter up and taken her to church with me or different things. So it's not that we don't trust each other with our kids. We literally trust each other with our kids. She's on my sign up I can pick our kids up and she can pick my kids up. But we're both in car ride line, and this is silly. We're like, why are we both here? Why don't we work out some kind of little schedule where you come and I'm like, bet I'll do it on Monday and Tuesday. Can you take Wednesday and Thursday? She was like, yes, great. Friday we get our own kids. Bet, let's do that. So now I'm just freed up. Because if you've ever picked your kids up from school, car ride line ain't no joke. It's like a whole hour or two investment of your time. I just bought myself back at least 2 hours in a week because I got somebody else to do it. So look at your plate and see, like, is there I can get somebody else to do? All right. Then, okay, so now you've gotten some things off because you started delegating. You've also gotten some things off because you have told your family what you need. Now you need to go ahead and put that thing that you said you were going to do, you need to put it on the calendar. Schedule the time, because how are they going to know? So what time are you going to work out? What time are you going to take your bubble bath? What time, whatever your self-care thing is, what time are you going to go for that walk? It might be a walk. It might be just your quiet time. It might be, I don't know. Everybody needs something different to make them feel like they've taken care of yourself. But whatever that thing is that charges your batteries, when are you going to do it? All right. And then this is the doozy. This is the one we normally struggle with. All right. Y'all ready? I need you to start practicing saying no. Stop committing yourself to things because you've already identified what the things that are the most important to you. The other things you leave, you need to learn to say some no. You need to give some no's without feeling guilty. All right. Because what happens is this: we think that if I tell this person no, they won't like me anymore, or they'll think I'm not a good friend. Oh, y'all can have me on here all day really unpacking this because the truth is the older version of me, the 240-pound at 5'2" me, I was that because I was doing all the things for everybody else. And the truth is, when somebody told me I was a good friend, I get like a little happy hit from that. Like it's validation. It makes me feel good to know that you think that I'm a good friend. Or my husband says, she's a good wife. Or my kids can say, you're a good mommy. And it's still true. I was in the store today and my son did something like courteous for a lady who was behind us. And she said, oh my God, mommy, you're raising him right. I would be lying to you if there wasn't a little part of me that was like, thank you, girl. I needed to know I'm doing this thing right. Okay. But the truth is I'm already good. All right. Because I'm powered by God. That's number one. I'm powered by God. Everything that flows from me comes from him. So it's already good. So as long as I keep my heart in the right place, everything that flows from me will be good. And so I don't have to have the validation of people to say, you are good. And I most certainly don't have to sacrifice taking care of me to get their approval of my goodness. So I had to learn how good I was and fully understand in a way that's not bragging, that when you give me, you get a whole lot. I'm worth a lot. All right. So I'm going to take care of me first. And what I found is I had more energy to take care of the people around me. All right. The other thing, and I've said it before and I'll say it again, when you learn to say no, your yeses mean more. So when I was giving everybody a yes, I was in this space of this, what I call the should space. Like you should do this, you should do this, you should. I ain't should no more. I don't should anymore. So if I show up at your thing, like if you're having a thing and you can actually get me there, like I actually come, it is legit because I want to be there. All right. And I'm going to come and I'm going to have a great time. All right. Because I have learned to say no to the things I feel like I should do. So when I show up, I all the way show up. So everything I'm at, I want to be there. I'm not there looking at the watch like, man, what time we finna go? Because I really just came so and so would think I'm nice. No, I'm coming all the way. I'm showing all the way up. Okay. So learn to say no without feeling guilty. Understanding that whatever you say yes to, there's a bunch of no's attached to it. So when I said yes to the Marine Corps Marathon with Rochelle, automatically, I'm going to tell you some things I said no. That's right. I don't want to do it. All right. But the things I said no to, Saturday mornings is a protected time for me. I typically sleep in on Saturday mornings and let my eyes open when they will. Well, this Mississippi sun said, you're going to get up. All right. So Saturday is the day we do our long run. So yesterday I did 8 miles. Wasn't no sleeping in. Okay. Unless you want to be scorched when you come back. So I said no to sleeping in on Saturday, which is one of my self-care situations. All right. So then how did I make up for it? Sunday became a serious Sabbath. So now it balanced is all I'm saying. But you have to recognize in advance every time you give a yes, you saying no to something. And the question you got to ask yourself is it worth it? The yes I just gave meant no to a whole bunch of things. Was it worth it? And if it was worth it, carry on. Okay. Because I'm not saying don't ever give no yeses. I'm saying be selective. And everybody can't just get your yes. Everybody hasn't earned your yes, but that's a different conversation for a different day. Because y'all out here being supportive to some people who barely support you, but we ain't gonna go there. Okay? We ain't gonna talk about that today. All right, so that's all I wanted to share. Like, you do not have to be Superwoman. Let her go, baby. Let her go. Like, it, looks great on cartoons and all of that, but it's burning you out. It's exhausting you. So get clear on what's important. What are the things you're going to do to like take care of you? Make it a non-negotiable. Let your friends and family know because that's the fair thing to do. It's unfair to think they should just get a revelation of what you need and you haven't told them. So communicate the boundaries to your friends, your family, your coworkers, your boss. I don't know who needs to hear it, but communicate your boundaries with love. Okay. Don't kick down the door to your boss's office and go off, but you can communicate directly, firmly, and with love. Okay. Uh, and find out what are some things on your plate that you can get off. What can someone else do? Or do you just need help in some areas? Like, do you need them to chip in more? Then you're going to decide to do your self-care activities every day. And I want to know what those things are. And then you learn to say no to some things and be okay with people being bothered by your nose. It's okay. They will be fine. That's one thing I learned too. Like, we think people are going to be so upset if we tell them no. Guess what? They going to figure it out. I really learned you not that deep, Tanisha. I'm not that deep. Okay. Because if I say no, guess what? They're going to figure it out and they're going to figure it out. They're going to be all right. They're going to make it. I figured that out. And once I figured that out, it was like, no, I won't. And so I don't say no's directly either. My secret hack, I'm going to tell my secret. This is how I say no. I normally don't give immediate yeses. So if someone asks me to do something, I have to suggest, thank you, Miranda. And that means a lot coming from you. I love you for life. But if somebody says, ask me to do something, I don't give automatic yeses because I really do have to check my schedule to see what I have the bandwidth for. So I'm always saying, hey, listen, let me check my schedule and get back to you. In my checking my schedule, I'm assessing, can I do it? Do I want to do it? Or should I be doing it? All right. And then sometimes I write back and say, I don't see how I can make that happen. I got another commitment or something like that, but I don't give automatic yeses. That's my little hack for saying I don't give automatic yeses to most people. There are a few people in the world, it's a small list that can get an automatic yes. And those people who can, they have earned it. All right. So listen, guys, that's all. Thank y'all so much for hanging out with me. I'm trying to Sam got me wanting to do this thing every day, so I'll probably be back tomorrow. I also want to invite you, for those of you who don't know, I lead a live training for busy moms on how to, put yourself on your own to-do list with confidence and say no sometimes without feeling guilty about it. So I actually show the exact strategy that I use to manage my time, and I teach how I went from overwhelmed, tired, and exhausted to thriving. And I will be doing my next one on July the 9th. I want to do one next week, but I don't have the bandwidth. So I will be doing it on Tuesday, July 9th. So if you go to Moms Who Thrive Masterclass, give me about 15 minutes because I need to click a button over there. I forgot I didn't do it. So give me about 15 minutes. And once I click this button, this link should be live. And if you want to learn more on how to use my direct framework, my exact framework, I'm going to teach it to you. So click the link or go to Moms Who Thrive Masterclass, or you can comment if you're on Facebook or Instagram. If you comment Thrive, the link should come to your inbox. YouTube, I don't have that capability, but I know it's on Instagram. So if you're on with Instagram, if you click Thrive, the link should come directly to you. All right, guys, that's all I got. I love y'all to life. So I'm about to go and get my PJs on and get on the couch because it's self-care Sunday. And I guess I got to take my bath now. So I guess I'm about to take a bath and put my PJs on. I love y'all to life, and I will see y'all tomorrow. Y'all have a good one.